Alright, picture this. It's the Roman Empire, the biggest, baddest superpower on the planet. They got armies everywhere, roads everywhere, money everywhere, and then, in some corner of the empire, out of Judea, there's this tiny religious movement. No giant army, no political power, no billionaire backers, no fancy headquarters. Just a bunch of regular people talking about a guy named Jesus. And if you're a Roman betting man, you'd look at Christianity and go, yeah, that's not making it past next Tuesday. But here's the crazy part. A few hundred years later, Christianity didn't just survive, it took over the entire empire. So the question is, how does a movement that started with basically nothing end up changing the biggest empire on earth? So let's get into it. First off, Christianity got lucky with the timing. Not lucky, but the Roman Empire was basically the ancient version of the internet. Stay with me. Rome, they had roads. And I don't mean a couple dirt paths, I'm talking about tens of thousands of miles of road connecting cities all across Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. You could travel farther and faster than almost anyone before. So when Christian missionaries started spreading their message, they didn't have to hike through jungles or cross the endless wilderness. Rome had already built the highways. Christianity just hit the gas. And nobody used those roads harder than my guy Paul. This guy was basically on a non-stop world tour, city after city, town after town, starting churches, meeting people, writing letters. The man was putting up legendary travel numbers. Everywhere he went, more people heard the message, but roads were only part of the story, because here's another cheat code Christianity had. Language. You see, a huge chunk of the empire spoke Greek, others spoke Latin. That meant ideas could spread way faster. Imagine trying to go viral online if every city spoke a completely different language. Yeah, good luck. Christianity did not have that problem. The message could move from city to city like wildfire. And the message itself, that was a real game changer, because ancient society was brutal. You had rich people, poor people, slaves, nobles, people born at the top, people born at the bottom. And most religions kind of reflected that world. Christianity came in and basically said, hold up, every person matters. Rich, you matter. Poor, you matter, dog. Slave, yeah, you matter. Woman, yeah, of course you matter as well, man. Everyone matters. Foreigner, you matter. And that was a shocking idea back then. Today it sounds normal, but back then it was revolutionary. For millions of people who felt invisible, Christianity was saying, no, man, you have value. And that is a powerful message. And powerful messages, they spread fast. So here's the thing that gets really interesting. Christians didn't just talk, they backed it up. Because ancient cities could be rough. Disease, poverty, orphans, widows, people getting abandoned when things got hard. Christians, they started building communities where people actually looked after each other. Need food? They helped. Money? They helped. Need someone to care for you when you're sick? They helped. And now imagine you're an outsider watching all this. You don't just hear them talking about love and compassion, you actually see it. And that's persuasive. People notice when action matches the words. And then came something that should have destroyed Christianity. Persecution. The Romans weren't huge fans of Christians, mostly because Christians refused to worship the traditional gods or treat the emperor like a god. And Rome saw that and went, yeah, we got a problem. So sometimes Christians got arrested, sometimes imprisoned, sometimes even executed, man. And the authorities, they thought fear would shut the movement down. Instead, it did the opposite. Because every time someone refused to abandon their faith, people watched. Imagine seeing somebody face prison or even death and still refuse to back down. Even if you disagreed with them, you'd probably ask, what do they know that I don't? The more Rome tried to crush Christianity, the more attention it got. It's one of history's weirdest plot twists. And then the story takes a massive turn. Enter Constantine, the emperor, the big boss, the top man. According to Christian tradition, before a major battle, Constantine had a vision, connected to the Christian God. And then he wins. And after that, everyone starts changing. In 313 AD, Christianity became legal. Think about that. 1 minute you're hiding, the next minute you're allowed to worship openly. No more secret meetings, no more looking over your shoulder. Churches started popping up. Christian leaders organized more freely. the religion suddenly has a room to breathe. And once that happened, boom, growth went into override, bro. And within a few generations, Christianity went from being a minority religion to becoming the dominant faith of the Roman Empire. And that's insane. Think about the odds. A movement started by ordinary people in a tiny province under the rule of the most powerful empire in the world. And somehow, it wins. It's not because they had the biggest army, not because they had the most money, but because it had the right message, the right timing, strong communities, and dedicated believers, and eventually support from the people at the top. History is full of underdog stories, but this might be my favorite. A movement everyone expected to disappear ended up reshaping an entire empire, and from there it went in to influence the entire world. Not bad for a group that Rome probably thought nobody would remember. And yet, here we are, still talking about it nearly 2000 years later. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing for more videos about Christianity, faith, history, and the questions people are sometimes afraid to ask. Let me know in the comments what you want to see next. See you in the next video. Peace.